Welcome, my friends, to a place where shadows dance and whispers echo with the weight of unspeakable horrors. Today, we embark on a journey to some of the most iconic landmarks in the world. Beneath their grandeur, behind their majestic facades, lies a darkness, a history steeped in blood, despair, and the lingering presence of those who never truly left. Get ready to explore the dark history of famous tourist spots. Are you brave enough to face them? The Tower of London, a majestic fortress standing sentinel on the banks of the River Thames for centuries. Tourists flock to its imposing gates, eager to delve into its rich history. But behind the dazzling jewels and the beef-eater tours, a darkness lingers. This isn't just a castle, my friends, it's a crypt, a repository of unimaginable suffering and despair. Within these walls, kings have plotted, prisoners have perished, and blood has stained the very ground we stand on. Imagine, if you will, the year 1483. Two young princes, Edward and Richard, their innocent eyes wide with terror, imprisoned in the suffocating confines of the tower. Their uncle, Richard III, hungry for power, saw them as obstacles, their very existence a threat to his claim to the throne. One day, the princes vanished, gone without a trace. Some whisper that they were smothered in their sleep, their small bodies buried within the tower walls, their laughter, once echoing through the halls, silenced forever. To this day, their souls are said to wander these halls, forever searching for an escape from their stone prison. And then there's Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated queen, second wife to the infamous Henry VIII. Accused of treason, of adultery, of witchcraft, she met her end on the Tower Green, her life taken by the swift stroke of the executioner's axe. Visitors claim to see her ghostly figure, still adorned in her royal finery, gliding through the White Tower, her head tucked beneath her arm. But Anne is not alone. The tower whispers with the tormented souls of countless others. Guy Fawkes, tortured mercilessly within these very walls, his screams echoing through the centuries. Lady Jane Grey, the 9-day queen, her youthful innocence a stark contrast to the brutal end she met. Their anguish, their pain, it seeps into the very stones of this place. Close your eyes and listen. Can you hear them? The soft murmur of despair, the clinking of chains, the mournful sighs of the forgotten. The Tower of London, a place where history whispers through the screams. In 1957, two guards on duty reported a chilling encounter. A white, spectral figure, its form shifting and swirling, emerged from the darkness. Terrified, they watched as it drifted towards them, its cold, ethereal touch sending shivers down their spines. So, the next time you visit the Tower of London, remember the stories, remember the screams. Beneath the bustling streets of Paris, the City of Lights, lies a chilling secret, a subterranean world where darkness reigns supreme. The Catacombs of Paris, a labyrinthine network of tunnels stretching for miles, house the skeletal remains of over 6 million Parisians. Imagine, if you will, a world where walls are built of bones, where skulls stare back at you with empty sockets. This is not a place for the faint of heart. The air down here is heavy, thick with the weight of millions of souls. The stench of decay, though faint, lingers in the air, a constant reminder of the macabre history that surrounds you. Each step echoes through the silence, the sound bouncing off the walls of bone, creating an eerie symphony of death. The catacombs were never intended as a tourist attraction. In the late 18th century, Paris faced a gruesome dilemma: overflowing cemeteries, their decaying corpses polluting the city above. The solution? A mass exhumation, a relocation of the dead to the abandoned underground quarries beneath the city. Imagine the scene: carts laden with bones rumbling through the streets under the cover of darkness. Workers, their faces obscured by masks, tirelessly arranging the remains, creating walls of skulls and femurs. stacking tibias and fibulas like firewood. The sheer scale of the operation is mind-boggling, a testament to the city's desperate attempt to contain its dead. But the dead, it seems, are not content to rest. Visitors to the catacombs report strange occurrences, unexplained noises, and chilling encounters. Cold spots, sudden drops in temperature are attributed to the restless spirits. Their presence felt most strongly in the heart of the labyrinth. There are stories of people becoming hopelessly lost, wandering the tunnels for hours, their cries for help swallowed by the impenetrable darkness. Some believe they are led astray by the spirits, mischievous entities who delight in confusing and terrifying the living. Others claim to have seen shadowy figures lurking at the edge of their vision, their forms shifting and disappearing as quickly as they appear. One particularly chilling tale tells of a group of friends who dared to venture into the catacombs, armed with only a flashlight and their youthful bravado. As they descended deeper into the labyrinth, they noticed a faint humming sound, growing louder with each step. The air grew colder, and the smell of decay intensified. Suddenly, their flashlight flickered and died, plunging them into absolute darkness. Panic set in as they stumbled blindly through the tunnels, their hands brushing against cold, damp bone. They called out to each other, their voices trembling with fear, but the only response was the sound of their own racing hearts and the faint humming, now a deafening roar. They had stared into the abyss, and the abyss had stared back. Nestled high in the Colorado Rockies, the Stanley Hotel stands as a beacon of grandeur and elegance. But beneath its opulent facade, a darkness lingers, a sense of unease that has captivated and terrified guests for decades. This is no ordinary hotel, my friends. This is a place where the veil between our world and the next wears thin, where the echoes of past tragedies reverberate through the halls. The Stanley Hotel served as the inspiration for Stephen King's iconic horror novel, The Shining. King, along with his wife Tabitha, spent a night in the desolate hotel, its empty halls and eerie silence fueling his imagination. Little did he know, he was not alone. Room 217, the very room King and his wife occupied, is said to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. Guests have reported luggage mysteriously unpacking, lights flickering and disembodied laughter echoing through the room. The ghost of a former housekeeper, Mrs. Wilson, is said to haunt the room, her spectral presence both mischievous and unsettling. But room 217 is just the tip of the iceberg. The Stanley Hotel is a veritable buffet of paranormal activity. The sound of children playing, their laughter echoing through the empty hallways, is often heard, particularly on the fourth floor. Guests have reported seeing apparitions in Victorian attire, their ghostly figures gliding through the halls, vanishing into thin air. Unexplained drafts, cold spots, and the feeling of being watched are commonplace within the Stanley's walls. It's as if the hotel itself is alive, its very essence imbued with the energy of the spirits who refuse to leave. One chilling tale tells of a couple who checked into the Stanley, eager for a romantic getaway. As they unpacked their bags, they noticed their fully charged camera was completely drained of battery. Later that night, as they lay in bed, they heard a noise from the corner of the room. Turning on the bedside lamp, they were horrified to see a shadowy figure standing at the foot of their bed. The figure, tall and menacing, seemed to stare directly at them, its eyes glowing an eerie red. Frozen with terror, they watched as the figure slowly dissolved into thin air. Grabbing their camera, they attempted to capture evidence, but the camera was once again drained of battery. The experience left them shaken and terrified, their romantic getaway transformed into a nightmare. The Stanley Hotel, a place where beauty and horror collide, where the living and the dead coexist in an uneasy truce. So the next time you're planning a vacation, consider a trip to the Stanley Hotel. There, my friends, in the shadows of these famous landmarks, we find the chilling truth that history is often written in blood and whispers. The stories of the Tower of London, the Catacombs of Paris, and the Stanley Hotel serve as chilling reminders that the past never truly dies. Until next time, my fellow explorers of the night, keep your eyes peeled for the shadows. your ears open for the whispers, and your minds open to the infinite possibilities of the unknown. Sweet dreams, if you dare.